My daughter-in-law was stealing my pension until my daughter arrived and did something that made her shut up. My daughter Patricia walked into the garage and froze. I was lying there on a thin mattress, hungry, beaten down like some old dog that got kicked to the curb. "Dad, what are you doing in here?" "You've got a 4,800 pension coming in every month," she said, her voice cracking. That's when Victoria rushed out from the house, all fake concern and sweetness. "Oh, honey, Daddy Ben wanted privacy. We've been taking such good care of his finances." Patricia looked at me, then at Victoria, and you won't believe what happened next. I'm Ben Tucker, 62 years old, and for 30 years I was a building inspector in Detroit. I knew how to spot structural problems before they brought the whole building down. Turns out I was blind to the cracks forming in my own family. The cold concrete pressed against my back through that pathetic excuse for a mattress. I'd been waking up in this garage for 3 weeks now, ever since Victoria decided I needed more space. Space, that's what she called it when she moved me out of my own house. My left shoulder ached where Michael had grabbed me last week. Not hard enough to leave marks. Victoria was smart about that. Just enough pressure to remind me who was calling the shots now. I pushed myself up, joints protesting, and wrapped that thin blanket around my shoulders. Through the small window facing the kitchen, I could see them sitting at my dining table. Victoria, with her perfectly styled blonde hair, cutting up pancakes like she owned the place. Michael beside her, not making eye contact with the garage window. My son, who used to help me rebuild car engines in this very garage, now pretending I didn't exist. My stomach cramped. Yesterday, I'd gotten 2 pieces of toast and some water. Victoria said I was eating too much, putting strain on the household budget. The household budget that was funded entirely by my $4,800 monthly pension. I shuffled toward the house, testing each step like I was checking foundation stability. The garage door to the kitchen was locked from the inside, another one of Victoria's safety measures. I knocked, the sound echoing in the December morning air. The door opened. Victoria stood there in her pink robe, looking down at me like I was some homeless guy begging for change. "What do you need, Daddy Ben?" "Just coffee, Victoria. Maybe a piece of toast." She shook her head, that fake sad expression she'd perfected over the past 4 months. "We talked about this. The doctor said you need to watch your diet. Too much caffeine isn't good for someone your age." "What doctor?" "There was no doctor." But Michael nodded along from the table, like everything she said made perfect sense. My own son agreeing that his father shouldn't have coffee in his own house. "Victoria, I think you should go rest some more. All this confusion isn't good for you." She closed the door. Click. Locked again. I stood there staring at that door for a minute, hands shaking. Not from cold, though it was freezing in that garage. From rage. Pure, clean rage that I hadn't felt since I caught contractors using substandard materials on a school project back in '98. See, this whole nightmare started last August. Victoria and Michael had been having money problems. Credit cards maxed out, behind on their apartment rent by 3 months. Victoria had expensive tastes, designer clothes, spa treatments twice a month, jewelry that cost more than most people's cars. Michael couldn't keep up with her spending on his $45,000 mechanic salary. They asked if they could move in temporarily just until we get back on our feet, Dad. How could I say no? Michael was my son. Victoria was family now, married to him for 2 years at that point. The first month was actually fine. They took the guest room and Michael's old bedroom from when he was a teenager. Victoria cooked dinner sometimes, helped around the house. She was sweet, attentive. Called me Daddy Ben like we'd been close for years, instead of the polite distance we'd maintained before. She'd bring me coffee in the morning, ask about my day, listen to my stories about problem inspections and crooked contractors. For the first time since my wife died 8 years ago, the house felt alive again. Then Victoria started noticing things. "Daddy Ben, you're managing so much on your own. The pension paperwork, the bills, all those bank statements piling up on your desk. What if something happened? What if you forgot a payment and they cut off your electricity?" I'd managed my own money for 40 years, through a marriage, raising 2 kids, buying this house, paying it off early. But Victoria made it sound like I was juggling dynamite with my eyes closed. "I'm really good with numbers, Daddy Ben. I balanced the books for my last job. I could help organize everything, make it easier for you." Michael chimed in from the living room. "Dad, Victoria's got a head for this stuff. Maybe it would help." That's when she suggested the power of attorney. Limited, she said. Just to help with banking convenience. Nothing major. Just so she could help pay bills if I got sick or went on vacation. It's what smart families do, Daddy Ben. My grandmother did the same thing with my mom. Made everything so much smoother. I should have asked questions. Should have read those papers more carefully. But Victoria had printed them out, highlighted where I needed to sign, made it seem like standard family planning. Michael was nodding along, trusting his wife's judgment. I signed the papers at the kitchen table on a Tuesday morning in September. Victoria had made my favorite breakfast, scrambled eggs with cheese, bacon, toast cut diagonally like I preferred. She was being so thoughtful, so helpful. That signature was like handing her the blueprints to demolish my life. For 3 weeks after signing those papers, nothing changed. Bills got paid on time. My pension showed up like clockwork, minus $4,800 on the first of every month, same as it had been since I retired 2 years ago. Victoria was helpful, organized, even started a filing system for my paperwork. Then I noticed the bank statements weren't coming to the house anymore. Oh, I switched us to online statements, Daddy Ben, Victoria explained when I asked. It's better for the environment, and I can monitor everything easier on the computer. That should have been my second red flag. The first was when she started calling my money our finances. 2 weeks later, October rolled around and I found out by accident. I tried to buy groceries at Kroger with my debit card. Declined. Insufficient funds. That couldn't be right. I'd just gotten my pension deposit 3 days earlier. I called the bank from the grocery store parking lot, hands shaking as I navigated their automated system. My checking account balance was $127. My pension had been deposited all right, then immediately transferred to a joint account ending in 8,844, an account I'd never heard of. I drove home with a sinking feeling in my gut, like when I'd inspect a house and find the foundation was shifting. Everything looked normal on the surface, but underneath, the whole structure was compromised. Victoria was in my living room when I got back, watching my 65-inch TV, the one I'd saved up 6 months to buy after retirement. She was wearing new diamond earrings that caught the afternoon light. Victoria, I need to ask you about the bank account. She looked up, all innocent blue eyes and helpful smile. What about it, Daddy Ben? My pension money. It's not in my checking account anymore. Oh, that? She waved her hand like it was nothing. I moved it to our joint account for easier management. Much more efficient this way. Our joint account, when had we become our... I need access to my money, Victoria. She stood up, smoothing down her new designer blouse. Another purchase I apparently hadn't known about. Daddy Ben, you signed the papers, remember? I'm managing the finances now. It's better this way, less stress for you. Better for who? For everyone. You don't need to worry about complicated banking stuff anymore. I handle all that. That's when Michael walked in from the garage, wiping grease off his hands. He'd been working on Victoria's car, the one that had been making expensive noises lately. I looked at my son, hoping he'd see how wrong this felt. Michael, your wife just told me I can't access my own pension money. Michael looked at Victoria, then at me. The look he gave her was like a kid asking permission. Dad, Victoria's really good with money management. Maybe it is better if she handles the complicated stuff? Complicated stuff. My own retirement money had become complicated stuff that I supposedly couldn't handle. It's not complicated, Michael. It's my money. Victoria stepped closer, her voice getting that tone I'd started to recognize, sweet but firm. Daddy Ben, you're getting upset over nothing. The money is safe. I'm using it responsibly. That night, I tried to use my credit card to order Chinese food, declined. Victoria had called and canceled it that afternoon. Too many fees and charges, Daddy Ben. It's better to pay cash for everything, cash that she controlled. The next morning, Victoria called me into the dining room. Michael was already there, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. She had a folder full of papers spread out on my table, bills, bank statements, legal documents. Daddy Ben, we need to talk about living arrangements. I sat down, feeling like I was about to get bad news from a doctor. What about them? This house is getting a little cramped, you know? 3 adults trying to share space, and Michael and I have been talking about starting a family soon. I looked around my 1,800 square foot house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, full basement. Cramped wasn't the word I'd use. I think you'd be more comfortable in the garage. It's got everything you need. Privacy, quiet, your own space to work on projects. The garage. where I kept my tools, my workbench, where Michael and I used to restore classic car parts on weekends. She wanted to turn it into my bedroom. You want me to live in the garage? Think of it as your own private apartment, Daddy Ben. Independent living. You always said you valued your independence. Michael finally spoke up, though he wouldn't meet my eyes, Dad. It might actually be nice. You spend half your time out there anyway, working on stuff. Working on stuff. Not living like some elderly relative who'd overstayed his welcome. What if I say no? Victoria's helpful smile got a sharper edge. Well, that would be difficult, Daddy Ben. See, I've been researching memory care facilities in the area. Some really nice places, memory care? What are you talking about? The confusion, Daddy Ben. Forgetting where you put things, getting mixed up about dates. Michael's noticed it too. She looked at my son, who nodded reluctantly. It might be time to consider professional care if home isn't working out. I stared at Michael. My own son was nodding along with this woman's lies. I hadn't forgotten anything, hadn't gotten confused about dates. But they were building a case against me like I was some deteriorating structure that needed to be condemned. The garage or assisted living, Daddy Ben, your choice. Choice. Like it was a real choice between sleeping on concrete or getting shipped off to die in some institution. That evening, I moved my mattress to the garage. Carried it through the kitchen while they watched TV, neither one offering to help. Victoria had already cleared out space for me, moved my tools to one corner, set up a small area with a mattress, a folding chair, and a card table. See? Cozy, she said, like she was showing off a hotel room. The garage had a utility sink, a space heater from 1987, and a toilet I'd installed years ago when I was doing long restoration projects. Victoria called it fully equipped. I called it exile. For the next 3 weeks, I lived like a prisoner in my own property. 2 meals a day if I was lucky. Shower once a week on Sundays and only for 10 minutes because Victoria said the hot water bill was getting too high. The space heater barely worked, and when I asked Michael to look at it, he said he'd get to it later. Later never came. Victoria had rules now. I could enter the house for bathroom breaks, 5 minutes maximum. Kitchen access only with permission. No guests allowed without approval. She'd installed a lock on the inside of the garage door, trapping me out there unless she decided otherwise. To the neighbors, everything looked normal. Victoria would wave from the front yard and call out, "Daddy Ben's working on his projects in the garage. He just loves his workshop time." Like I was some happy retiree puttering around with hobbies instead of a man being systematically isolated and starved. The Hendersons next door would wave back and smile. "Your father-in-law seems to keep busy," they'd tell Victoria. If they only knew I was rationing crackers and sleeping on concrete. Meanwhile, the spending spree continued. Every week brought something new. A $28,000 Honda Pilot showed up in November. Victoria said Michael needed reliable transportation for work. Never mind that his 2018 Toyota ran perfectly fine. Designer furniture arrived constantly. A $4,000 sectional sofa to replace my perfectly good recliner. A dining set that cost more than most people's cars. Victoria redecorated my living room, my dining room, even my bedroom, though I wasn't allowed to sleep there anymore. The jewelry collection grew weekly. Diamond earrings became diamond bracelets, became a diamond necklace. Victoria started getting her nails done twice a week at $80 per session. Spa treatments, every Friday, massage therapy, facials, something called microdermabrasion that cost $200 each time, all charged to my accounts. All funded by my $4,800 monthly pension that I couldn't touch. I started keeping track on scraps of paper, building inspector habits dying hard. October pension, $4,800, November pension, $4,800, December pension, $4,800, total stolen so far, $14,400 in just 3 months. The worst part wasn't the money though. It was watching Michael transform from my son into Victoria's puppet. He'd stopped looking me in the eye. When Victoria told him to move my tools around for better organization, he did it without question. When she said I was getting confused and needed supervision, he nodded along. "Dad's been acting strange lately. I heard him tell his sister Patricia on the phone one evening in late November." I was pressed against the garage wall, listening through the thin drywall. Victoria thinks he might be developing some memory issues. I remembered every building code violation I'd ever written up. Every crooked contractor I'd caught cutting corners. Every structural problem I'd identified in 30 years of inspections. My memory was fine, but my son was helping his wife build a case against my mental competence. That's when I realized Victoria's real endgame. She wasn't just stealing my pension, she was positioning herself to take everything. The house, my savings, my entire estate. All she needed was to have me declared mentally incompetent, and Michael was helping her do it. December brought new humiliations. Victoria started timing my bathroom breaks, 5 minutes, Daddy Ben. The timer's running, like I was a child who couldn't be trusted alone in my own house. She controlled my food intake completely now. Breakfast was 2 pieces of toast and black coffee, when she felt generous. Lunch was usually skipped entirely. Dinner might be a can of soup or a peanut butter sandwich, delivered to the garage like I was some animal being fed scraps. I lost 18 pounds in 3 weeks. My clothes hung loose. My belt needed new holes. When I mentioned feeling weak, Victoria said it was good for me. You are carrying a little extra weight, Daddy Ben. This is healthier. Starving a 62-year-old man was healthier. The physical intimidation started in December too. Nothing that would leave obvious marks. Victoria was too smart for that. But Michael would grab my arm a little too tight when guiding me somewhere. Stand a little too close when we talked. Use his size to make points without saying anything directly. Dad, you need to stop questioning Victoria's decisions, he told me one evening when I'd asked about a $800 charge for something called wellness coaching. His hand was on my shoulder, fingers pressing harder than necessary. She's trying to help you. We both are. Help. That's what they called stealing my money and locking me in a garage. Victoria got bolder as winter set in. She started bringing friends over to show off the house, my house, like it was hers. I could hear them through the walls, laughing and drinking wine that probably cost more per bottle than I used to spend on groceries for a week. Michael's father is so sweet, I heard her tell someone. He's getting up in years, memory problems, we've taken over managing everything for him. It's a lot of responsibility, but family takes care of family. Memory problems, taken over managing everything. Family takes care of family. Each lie delivered with perfect sincerity to her impressed friends. By Christmas, I'd been in that garage for 3 weeks. No Christmas dinner invitation. No presents under the tree I'd bought and decorated every year for 15 years. Victoria gave me a card to Daddy Ben. Thanks for understanding our need for space during the holidays. Understanding. Like I'd chosen to spend Christmas alone in a cold garage. That's when I started planning. Not escape. Where would I go with no money and no access to my accounts? But documentation, evidence. 30 years as a building inspector had taught me that when you're dealing with people who cut corners and lie about it, you need proof. I started writing everything down on the backs of junk mail envelopes. Dates, times, dollar amounts, what Victoria bought, what I was fed, how long I was locked out of my own house. Building a case file like I used to do when I caught contractors using substandard materials. Victoria thought she was smart. Thought she'd isolated me completely, that I was just some confused old man who couldn't fight back. She was about to find out how wrong she was. Then Patricia showed up. It was January 8th, a Tuesday morning. I was sitting on that folding chair, trying to fix my space heater with tools Victoria hadn't sold yet, when I heard her voice in the driveway. My daughter, who lived 200 miles away in Cleveland, who hadn't visited in 6 months because Victoria always made excuses about why it wasn't a good time. The garage door was cracked open for ventilation. Even Victoria couldn't completely seal me off without risking carbon monoxide poisoning from the heater. Patricia's voice carried clearly through the cold air. Michael, Victoria, where's Dad? I stood up fast, heart hammering. Patricia wasn't supposed to be here. Victoria always controlled the family calendar. Always had reasons why visits needed to be scheduled weeks in advance. This was unplanned, unexpected, dangerous to Victoria's carefully maintained fiction. Patricia, what a surprise. Victoria's voice, bright and fake. You should have called ahead. Daddy Ben's not. He's not having a good day today. Patricia's footsteps were getting closer to the garage.
What do you mean, not having a good day? Memory issues, honey. Confusion. He gets agitated when his routine is disrupted.
That's when Patricia walked into the garage and saw me. Really saw me 18 pounds thinner, wearing the same clothes for 4 days because Victoria rationed laundry privileges, sitting next to a mattress on a concrete floor like some homeless person who'd found shelter. Her face went through shock, confusion, then pure fury in about 3 seconds. Dad, what are you doing in here? I couldn't find words. How do you explain to your daughter that you're living like an animal in your own garage? That your son chose his wife over his father? That you've become a prisoner in the house you paid off 8 years ago? You've got a $4,800 pension coming in every month, she said, looking around at my living space. Why are you out here? That's when Victoria appeared in the doorway, switching into full performance mode. Oh, Patricia, honey. Daddy Ben wanted his own space. Independence, you know. We've been taking such good care of him, managing all his finances, so he doesn't have to worry about complicated banking. Patricia turned to look at Victoria. Something shifted in my daughter's eyes, the same look she used to get as a kid when she caught her brother lying about breaking something. Victoria, why is my 62-year-old father sleeping on a mattress in an unheated garage? He chose this arrangement, Patricia. We offered him the guest room, but he preferred the privacy out here. Isn't that right, Daddy Ben? Victoria's eyes were drilling into me, reminding me of all her threats about nursing homes and mental competency hearings. But Patricia was here now, and for the first time in 4 months, I wasn't alone. No, I said quietly. That's not right. Patricia pulled out her phone. Dad, tell me about your pension. Where does the money go every month? Victoria stepped closer, voice getting sharp. Patricia, your father sometimes gets confused about financial matters. That's exactly why Michael and I handle everything now. I asked my father, not you. I found strength in my daughter's voice. She takes it all, Patricia. Every month, $4,800 goes into an account I can't access. She spent over $19,000 in 4,000 months. Daddy Ben, you're getting upset over nothing, Victoria interrupted, but her mask was slipping. I'm managing the money responsibly. Show her the receipts, Patricia. Everything's legitimate household expenses. Patricia held up her phone. I could see the red recording dot. Victoria, explain to me how spending my father's pension and forcing him to live in a garage constitutes managing responsibly. I'm not forcing anything. Ben signed legal documents. Power of attorney. Everything I'm doing is completely legal and in his best interests. Legal doesn't make it right. Dad, how long has this been going on? 4 months for the financial control. 3 weeks sleeping out here. Patricia kept recording. And Victoria, how much of his pension have you taken total? Victoria straightened up, getting defensive. I haven't taken anything. I'm managing approximately $19,220 for household expenses and Ben's care. Care? You call this care? Patricia gestured around the garage. Show me the receipts for Daddy's care. Victoria, the $28,000 car, the jewelry, the spa treatments Michael told me about on Facebook. That's when Michael appeared, looking pale and panicked. Patricia, you don't understand. Victoria's been helping Dad. He was getting forgetful, making mistakes with bills. What mistakes, Michael? What bills? Dad managed his money for 40 years without help. Michael looked at Victoria like he was asking permission to speak. Victoria said he was getting confused about dates and amounts. Show me one example, Michael. One bill he paid wrong, one mistake he made. Silence. Because there weren't any mistakes, there was no confusion. There was only Victoria's systematic theft and Michael's willful blindness. Patricia stopped recording and looked at me. Dad, get whatever belongings you have. You're leaving with me. He can't just leave, Victoria said, voice getting desperate. I have power of attorney. I make decisions about his living situation and medical care. You had power of attorney. Past tense. This recording proves it was obtained through fraud and used for financial exploitation. Victoria's face went white. For the first time since this nightmare started, she looked scared. Patricia, you're making a terrible mistake. Your father needs supervision. Without proper care management, the only mistake here was trusting you with my father's welfare. Patricia took my arm gently. Come on, Dad, let's go home. I grabbed my few remaining possessions, some clothes Victoria hadn't thrown away, my old building inspector badge, a photo of my late wife, and the envelope full of evidence I'd been collecting. Victoria blocked the doorway one last time. If you leave with her, Ben, I'll call Adult Protective Services. I'll tell them you're having mental episodes, that you're not safe living independently. Patricia stepped up close to Victoria. Go ahead. Call them. I'll play this recording first, then show them the photos I just took of Daddy living in a garage. See who they believe. Victoria stepped aside. As we walked to Patricia's car, Michael stood in the front door watching us leave. He looked broken, caught between his wife's lies and his father's truth. For a moment I thought he might say something, Might choose his father over his marriage. He didn't. He just stood there and watched us drive away. Patricia took me to a hotel that night and ordered enough room service to feed 3 people. While I ate real food for the first time in weeks, she made phone calls. Lawyers, banks, adult protective services, the police. Dad, this ends now. Victoria's going to prison, and you're getting every penny back. Sometimes the people who share your blood aren't your real family. Real family fights for you when you can't fight for yourself. And Patricia proved that loyalty isn't about genetics, it's about character. She was right. It took 6 weeks, but Patricia delivered on every promise she made that night in the hotel. The recording was damning evidence. Victoria's own voice admitting she'd taken $19,200 describing how she'd forced me into the garage, calling it managing my care. Combined with medical records showing my 18-pound weight loss and photos of my living conditions, the prosecutor called it the clearest case of elder financial abuse he'd seen in 15 years. Victoria hired a lawyer who tried to claim I'd been mentally incompetent when I signed the power of attorney. That backfired spectacularly when they put me on the witness stand. I testified for 2 hours about building codes, structural engineering, and the 30 years of inspections I'd conducted. The jury saw a sharp, competent man who'd been systematically abused by someone he'd trusted. The verdict came back in 4 hours, guilty on all counts. Elder financial exploitation, illegal eviction, coercion. Victoria got 18 months in state prison plus 3 years probation. The judge ordered full restitution, every penny of the $19,200 plus court costs and attorney fees. Michael stood by her through the trial. Testified that I'd been confused and that Victoria was just trying to help. Even after hearing the recording, seeing the photos, listening to medical testimony about malnutrition, he chose her over the truth. Some structures, once they crack, can't be repaired. He divorced her while she was serving time, but the damage was done. My son had chosen a thief over his father. We haven't spoken since the trial. I moved to a small house near Patricia in Cleveland. Got back to work part-time doing building inspections. Turns out 62 isn't too old when you've got 30 years of experience. The restitution took 18 months to collect fully, but I got every dollar back. Victoria was released after 14 months for good behavior. I heard through Patricia that she moved to Florida, started over with a new identity and probably new victims. Predators like her don't change, they just find fresh prey. These days, I inspect buildings and spend weekends with my grandkids. Patricia checks on me daily, not because she has to, but because she wants to. That's the difference between real family and people who see dollar signs when they look at you. Michael calls once a year on my birthday. Awkward conversations that go nowhere. He lost his father to protect a woman who was stealing from both of us. Some lessons cost more than others. 30 years of inspecting foundations taught me that the most dangerous cracks are the ones you can't see from the surface. The same applies to family members who smile while they undermine your security. Trust is like structural integrity. Once it fails, the whole building comes down. But sometimes, if you're lucky, someone like Patricia shows up with the tools to help you rebuild on solid ground.